What if you can make $1 million this year? Now, what if you could do it on the side, part time, while you still work your job, take care of your bills and your family and whatever else you have to do, but make the money on the side and grow something that you can use and flourish with in the years to come? Now, that's my plan and the challenge I have for myself this year. So I'm hoping that if I can find a way to make this work for myself, I can help others follow along and do this so that they can change their lives. So if this sounds interesting to you, keep watching, because I'm going to tell you exactly what it is I'm doing to go from zero on the side to $1 million in 1 year. All right, so for the challenge, I'm doing this in a way that actually contradicts what many very successful people say. So I actually recently heard Alex Hormozy say that you should niche down and go all in and focus on one thing. And if you're trying to build a business, that makes sense, right? You want to focus on what it is that you're actually trying to build. But the thing is that with this challenge, I'm not just trying to build a business. I'm trying to earn the money, because my idea with this is that if you earn the money all in 1 year, yes, you're not going to get a full $1 million because, taxes come out of it, right? And operating expenses and whatnot. But it would be more than enough for most people to pay off all their debts, be able to pay for a house, pay for a new car, put money aside for, emergencies or whatever expenses, take care of their health, right? It sets people up to be able to go and do the things that they want to do with their lives. So while niching down and focusing on one thing is absolutely great, if you're like, oh, I'm going to build this business, of course, you're not going to go and try to do all kinds of other things. But with this, I'm not following that advice. What I'm doing is kind of doing things that kind of work together so that I can then build upon each other and see what works and what doesn't. So within each thing that I'm doing, most of it is already proven to work. I'm not doing something and creating something unusual. This is not like Elon Musk and we're going to Mars. We're going to do things that millions of other people have done, but I'm trying to stack it and build it in a way that makes it easy and quick and kind of down to its core so that other people can replicate this. So essentially what we're doing is we're not building this for a long-term business, right? We're just doing this to get the money. If there's something that you really like and it's working well, you keep doing it afterwards. If you're like, okay, hey, I hit my goal, I'm able to do all these other things because that's what the money was for, then you have new skills. You have the ability to keep doing these things if you want, or take it and move into a new direction, right? You're going to have the money, you're going to have skills, you're going to have an ability to then do maybe a new business that you actually would want to do, or a totally new career, even if you're working for somebody else, right? The whole goal is to put you in a position where you no longer have to be worried about your debts, losing a car, losing a home, your health, the health of people you care about. This is not about businesses. This is about people's lives. So we're going to follow a little bit different plan. All right, so here's where the plan starts. It starts with YouTube monetization to be precise. So I had to kind of estimate where I would fall in. I do think that this is going to be at the low end of the items I'm going to be doing for the overall revenue to reach $1 million. But I had no idea exactly what this would be. So I really had to do a lot of work. So I watched videos where people talk about, how much they get paid. I looked at different people within the finance niche to see, like on Social Blade, what it estimates that they make. When I watched the videos where people talk about what they earn in ad revenue, that would be what the amount was per 1,000 views. There were some people were on videos, they were getting $20 to even $25 per 1,000. But that's, a video or two, that's not everything. So most of them were probably averaging somewhere between $12 and $15 per 1,000 views. So I estimated at $10 just to keep it very conservative because I have no idea. And the fact that it's a slow start. That's what they're already earning because they're monetized. I still have to get to be monetized at this point. So I was trying to keep it very, very conservative. My estimation and my hope was 50,000 out of this. I may be overextending. I may be completely under. I have no idea, but that's where I thought I would be conservative. And that is with the goal of everything else I'm going to keep pushing out. And at some point, I do estimate that I will start running ads on YouTube to push people back to the site or to the channel. So we're going to see how all of that works. But I do think because of the niche that I'm probably more likely to get it. Obviously, if somebody is following along and wants to do this too, they've got to think about where they are and what niche they're in. Because, if you're talking about, I don't know, classic Volkswagen Beetles, and that is your niche, right? There's probably not as many advertisers who want to advertise on that. Car companies, obviously, but, it depends on what the market's doing at the time, right? If the economy's not great and people aren't buying cars, then you're probably not going to get as many ads, and the ad revenue is going to fall on those. So that's kind of where you have to play in with this. That's why I'm keeping it really conservative, but I'm trying to use this to build the base for everything else. So while the revenue is great, it obviously 50,000, I'm not counting much towards earning $1 million, but it has a purpose beyond the money. So that's going to be the first thing that I'm working on and the very first step in the plan. Step 2 starts building on step 1, but also has a jump in what I estimate is potential for income. And so step 2 is going to be print on demand. And I know that everybody in the Brothers talked about this, and usually people think of t-shirts. So, well, I'm actually going to include t-shirts in this. I have an idea of a brand that is going to be essentially across multiple products and kind of all being cohesive. So not just, random things that, maybe somebody would like it. So it's going to fit into a theme. It's going to be all encompassing from different products to where if I got one product, I like that. I probably want it on this too. I also want it to be to where it's the kind of, I want it for myself, but that would be such a great gift. I want them to be things that people think of. It's funny. It's, unique. It's going to be kind of in that realm. So while I'm getting the channel monetized and still trying to live life on the other side, I will be gradually building up all of these and coming up with the full concepts. So with this, there are going to be greeting cards, of course, t-shirts, phone cases, candles, mugs, shower curtains, and then outside of that, still in the print on demand concepts, is going to be low content books. So that will be focused on Amazon, while the other stuff will be somewhat Amazon, Etsy, and Redbubble. At least as it stands right now, that's what I'm looking for. So as I start doing more of these things, I will have more videos that explain like what I'm doing and how all of this is kind of functioning, right? Medium content books, though, are going to be things like different types of journals, different types of planners, maybe puzzle books. These are things that are still up in the air, but there are so many options. Yes, there are a lot of people doing these, but the idea is that with a little more research, I'm going to see where there is something that is lacking. I'm going to look through reviews of different books and see what people complain about. See if maybe people really like the idea and really like the product, but it's not done well enough. And they're like, it should have had this, so that I can then go fill that need and do what's missing so that it can be a better product. So those are the things with the print on demand. There was so much information. There are so many people doing these things. There's many different companies. So I'm going to actually delve more into the different companies. I pretty much know, and I'm pretty sure it's Printify that I'm going to go with at this point, but I want to do a little bit more research, and that will be something I talk about later so that people can kind of see why I chose what I chose and which other contenders may be a good option for them. So as for print on demand as a whole, because it's going to be a wide encompassing brand essentially that I'm going to build for this, I'm estimating 150,000 for the year, which brings us up to 200,000 out of the million, assuming everything goes fantastic with this. The next business that is going to be added to get to a million is going to be a membership. So this membership will be the backside of everything I'm doing for the challenge. So it is going to include all the ins and outs, all of the details, all of the how-tos to set things up for everything that I'm doing. While my YouTube videos are going to show the overview and the, general ideas of what's happening, the actual ins and outs are going to be only in the membership. So it's going to be really the base framework for how to get to the $1 million. So anybody who wants to join is going to get that framework. They're going to figure out and know what they're doing, because I'm also going to have all the information of like how I went through to decide what I was going to do so that they can do that for themselves, because obviously this isn't for everybody, right? But we have to find out what is. So the membership is going to actually be super cheap. I'm only going to do it for $9 a month. I figure for $9 a month, you can get all of this information. I don't want to do it as a free group, because when things are free, people are like, oh yeah, I'm not paying for that. I'm not worried about it, right? They're not going to actually do the work. People do the work when they actually have skin in the game. So I don't want to make it so expensive that it's out of reach. I don't think, $30, $40, $50 a month, while the content and the information is going to be well worth it, I don't think that everybody's in a position to do that. And the fact is that I want people to be able to, actually get this information and use it. But I want to have a little bit of a push. I don't even know if $9 is enough, but I want to have something to where people are like, all right, I'm paying for this. I better do something. I better listen. And at least maybe if they're listening, they're getting engaged a little. Maybe they're getting inspired. If they see other people are starting to have success, that they're going to then move forward. So for what I estimate this will make, more than print on demand, but still not the biggest, money earner in this whole thing. So I'm estimating $9 a month, 2,500 people a month, and only 9 months out of the year, for the main fact that this isn't getting started right away. I do assume more people later on with less people up front. So I'm just doing an average of 2,500. That would come out to $22,500 a month, which would be $202,500 for the year. So we're just going to call it even $200,000 plus the $150,000 from the print on demand and the $50,000 from YouTube. That would bring us up to $400,000. So we're still $600,000 short. So the next one is what's going to get us over the top. All right, next up is a skills-based course. So what skills? Whose skills? Well, in this case, for me, it is that I have been in real estate for over 20 years, and I have helped people buy, sell, invest in property. I have listed properties for banks, and I have done thousands upon thousands of valuations for the banks. So because of that, I have a lot of information that I can package together and sell to other people. And I can help them to make real estate easier for them, to help them if they're going to buy or sell or invest. Well, what skills do you have? You don't have to have had 20 years doing anything. You just have to have more information than somebody else, information that helps them save money, time, aggravation, whatever it may be, whatever their pain point is, you help them with that. You make it easier for them. They are going to pay you for that because they will gladly pay to get rid of pain. But in my case, we are looking at a course that is essentially going to have a couple options for what I could charge. But we're going to go for a couple options. One is I charge $250 for it. I would need 2,400 people to purchase that, and that would be $600,000. That $600,000 with the previous $400,000 brings it up to $1 million. Now, if I was to charge $500 for it, I would need only 1,200 people to buy it to reach the $600,000. We're talking 1,200, 2,400, whatever. It's not many people, considering the fact that there are billions of people on the planet. If you are doing something like, teaching people how to decorate and paint their nails, yeah, they don't know how to do it. Their pain isn't necessarily a pain, but it is I want to know how to do this, and I don't know how to do it. Show me, make it easy, make it so I can do it too. That is their pain. They want to be able to do it too. But can you charge hundreds of dollars for that? Well, no. So you're going to need more people if that was going to be the main thing that you were earning money off of. So in this case, I'm putting a lot onto this because I have so much information, and it is a in-demand field, right? It's in-demand information. So I can charge more. If this was somebody else doing this, and say they were going to do, painting nails as a course, well, maybe you're going to put more emphasis on the YouTube channel because you're going to get more monetization than you would maybe from the course. Not to say that's guaranteed, but that's just kind of how we're looking at this. So from my perspective, though, my course part of everything that I'm doing is going to be the biggest moneymaker. Because, like I said in the beginning about the long term and the focusing, depending on how the print on demand goes, it may be something that I really enjoy. It may be something I branch out into, and it's not necessarily print on demand. It could just become a separate company where I'm actually producing those items. It's a whole brand. It just depends, but that is a perspective view of where I could go with it. So, that gets us to our $1 million, but I have one extra bonus just to be sure that we hit it. All right, the last thing we have here is affiliates. So most people kind of know what an affiliate is by now, but if you don't, essentially what it is that I recommend something to you, and because you sign up through my link, they pay me something, right? It doesn't affect what somebody pays for something. They may even get a discount if they use the link, but then going forward, depending on how the affiliate program works, you might earn a one-time fee for it, or if it's a recurring service that somebody is signing up and paying monthly for, the person who referred them might get something monthly. It just depends on the company and the program and the cost. There's a lot of different factors, and there's a lot of different companies that do these. So, this isn't something I would put a lot of work into. This is kind of by the way, this is something you put the links onto the bottom of YouTube. You can put it, if you're doing print on demand, maybe, contact the people and say, hey, you bought this, maybe this, right? Maybe you're interested in it. So there's a lot of different ways to go about this and put it out there, but I wouldn't put the effort in because the money that you're going to get back from it is most part insignificant. There are some companies that you're going to get, I don't know, $1,000 out of them, right? They're big products, big expensive services. But that's not for most people. So I would really only put this at maybe say $10,000 to $20,000 for the year. And the only reason I'm really doing it is it's a buffer. It's just the little extra, and why not have extra? And if I'm already doing things where this fits in, it's a no-brainer. But it is really just to kind of be sure I hit that $1 million. It's just the extra because, like I said, this isn't about building this out forever. This is about hitting the money goal so that everything else can get taken care of. And because I'm trying to help people actually, get rid of all of their debt and get their lives in a position where they have the freedom they want, why not take the little extra time to do the affiliates? Because it's not that big of a deal. It's not time consuming, and it's just extra. And who doesn't like extra? All right, so this is my plan. This is the way I think it will go, to where it's the easiest, it's the least time consuming, it will fit in with everything else, and not be overly expensive to get started. So those were the guidelines that I had for the challenge, so that other people can replicate it. So not everybody is going to want to do YouTube, or they might not like the print on demand. It's fine. There are a lot of options, right? You can do any of these, all of these, pick one of these. Maybe you just decide that a membership is all I need. Or maybe you have some kind of skill, you're like, I can just teach that. And, oh, I've got to sell 5,000 of them. No problem. That's it. That's all you have to do. Right? So there's so many options, but I do think that out of what I've chose, obviously the membership and the skills-based course are going to be the biggest money makers. But you can do any combination. You can do this. I'm going to show you a few different options because I want things to work out. You never know, though. There's a possibility that all of these take off, and it could even hit 2 million, right? There's no limit on this. We're just trying to hit the minimum of 1 million, but we're not stopping anywhere. It's not like I hit the 1 million, and if I hit it in August, we're done. No, we're going to see how much we can get out of this. So I'm curious to know what you think. Which ones of these would you do? Which ones of these would you not do? Would you like a combination? Is there something else that you think I should be doing that I didn't talk about? You can just leave those comments below and we'll talk about that. So until next time, to your financial success.